With report from our attorney, Dan Sigler.
I have one thing to report today, since I've been gone for 2 weeks, but the one thing I do know, and Scott's here, I believe on, I don't know if that's the only thing, but this tattoo ordinance is before you again for second reading. There was a little tweak that had to be made because of zoning issues. Scott had forwarded that to me a week or two ago. I reviewed it, and I find no problems with that, and so I can recommend it legally for passage.
Okay. Do we want to do with that right now, or?
Yeah, Scott's.
Yeah. A copy for you if you'd like.
Sure.
I think you all got a copy of that.
And to remind you, we asked him to go to the fee committee,
Right.
and he did that. So that part's done.
Back page is where you sign.
Okay.
We'll need a number.
It's 2017-06.
I make a motion that we accept the ordinance 2017-06 as presented to us and approved by the attorney.
Second.
We've got a motion, we've got a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
I have a second issue if you have a minute to review. I spoke with Don on Friday. Had an incident where we had a well, it was drilled for a new home that was drilled illegally. And the last time I came before the commissioners in 2009 when this had happened, also in Smith Township, and the commissioners went ahead and recommended that we did find the responsible party and make them re-drill the well in the proper location. Would you want me to submit that paperwork for the next review, for the next time, or what would you like me to do for that?
So the case is this, Scott went out, looked at the area, told them where the well should go. That's not where the well ended up. And it doesn't meet our statute at this time. So you could have the homeowner blame the well driller or the builder or whatever, but it's a violation. It's just, if the speed limit's 55 and you're running 75, you're violating the law. So I think that we have to do whatever our ordinance says we have to do. That's how I would.
What is the fine with the ordinance?
$500 for the first offense. I called the home builder. The home builder told me who the well driller was. I called the well driller, and they said that they had met with the homeowner that week before, and that they agreed to put it in this location, which was not where I had flagged it, which is, okay, they can call me and we can move things around. But it was too close to the house and too close to the pond, and
Yeah, it wasn't the fact so much that they moved it as they moved it out of the approved zone, right?
right. I marked it previously.
Yeah, so.
And so the last time you guys had went ahead and voted to fine them. So I guess I just need to know who we're fining. Or to put all three of them in there, the home builder, the homeowner, and the well driller. The last time we fined the well driller, actually.
Who signed the application?
The home builder.
I think whoever applied and
Okay.
was approved is who gets fined, and they can work it out themselves.
When this first ordinance was passed in 1997, we sent copies to all northern Indiana well drillers, all 40 of them.
What is, sorry to interrupt, but what does the ordinance say? Because I don't remember off the top of my head. Who does it prohibit, or does this the applicant, or?
Yes, so
Okay.
the applicant or homeowner or owner of property. So I mean, obviously the ultimate responsibility goes back to the owner, but if the owner's not informed, the builder has built many homes. They've worked with this well driller many times. They just either they weren't paying attention or what happened. So
And I don't know the builder, so I don't have anything against the builder, but if the builder did the application, then we rely on the
Okay.
builder to locate it where you said to locate it. He's a general contractor, and it should have been there.
Okay.
So that's who I would say gets the fine.
I'll
but,
direct
I
that
mean,
letter and fine to
subject you
them.
guys.
okay.
Makes sense.
So is this something we vote on next meet?
If you'd like me to
You formalize
send all the
it?
specifics to you so that you know who you're.
Yes.
Yeah, I will do that.
And I would make a motion that we table this until Scott returns with the information we need.
Okay, we got a motion to table?
Second.
Got a second? Any further discussion?
Yes, is this, how far is the construction along and all this? Have they drilled a new well yet, or,
Yes.
They have
They
drilled
drilled the well outside the location where it was approved.
but they have not drilled a new one?
I just inquired of it Friday afternoon,
Oh,
so, yeah.
Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
So I have no further report, George, and as I explained to you guys before, I have a personal matter I need to attend to, but my senior partner, Mr. Shipman, is here, and you're in great hands.
Thank you.
Don't dock me.
Okay,
you want to go down the big seat, or you all good there?
I'm still a little apprehensive about sitting in front of the seat.
I offered to take this away so nobody holds him responsible for my signature.
He's leaving.
should be for the sake of the audience, explain what's.
Oh, yeah. We're changing attorneys next year, and we were going to make it a orderly transition by having Matt Shipman is going to be our new county attorney in 2018, but we're trying to transition this, and we'll have two attorneys in for a while, and so Matt's taking over, and we want to welcome you.
Thank you, I'm happy, I'm excited. It's gonna be
Thanks.
fun, I think.
It's all fun and games
After today, maybe.
till the tomatoes start.
Okay, next on the agenda is Ted Westerhoff from the Bowen Center.
Okay, hi, my name's Kurt Carlson, I'm the CEO of the Bowen Center. We'll give you some files there, a file with some information in it. And one of the requests, I believe, was for Bowen Center to report on a more regular basis to county government. And folks do fund Bowen Center, and so we wanted to give you some reports. So on that left side, Jamie, you want to speak about what we've got there on that page?
So we highlighted just kind of things that we do at the Bowen Center here for Whitley County because we do serve Whitley County. We support Whitley County youth through all three school districts. So we have Whitley Consolidated, we have Whitco, and Smith Green schools. We serve over 6,000 kids. We have our SAP program, which is our student assistant program, which starts kids out in services and then they continue with services through us through the school year with skill building and case management. Our job is to ensure that the kids can get their education where their behaviors aren't impeding them from getting expelled, suspended, or reduced days. So that's really our prime goal for all the kids. We do school-based therapy. We have some social smarts groups there as well. So we work with kids on the autism spectrum, and we do critical incidents response. So if we do have a suicide or a death in the school district, we respond and we offer support for the staff members, the students, and then the community as well. This past year and the year before, we've done a 2-year program for suicide prevention and awareness. So we've done our QPR training, which is question, persuade, and refer, in regards to training everyone from bus staff all the way up to every school staff in the schools, as well as in the community, so that they know how to identify youth at risk. Can we continue?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we support Whitley County workers through our employee assistance program and wellness workshops. So we cover over 4,000. It would include all the following: so Whitley County government, 80/20, CNA Tool, Precision Plastics, Whitley County Manufacturing, Ultra Electronics. We have a Smith & Sons Funeral Home MOU where we offer grief assistance up to 3 sessions for them, Advanced Assembly, and then we do the SDI Health Fair. other services and supporting community coalitions initiatives we do have the Whitley Works program now through the Lilly Foundation, Eli Lilly. We do the Whitley County Chamber Whitley Senior Expo, the Whitley County Expo, the Babe Golf Fundraiser. We are part of the JDAI, so the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative. We have an MOU with the Whitley County for the Veterans Treatment Court. We do Shelter Care Plus services, so with anyone that is homeless on the streets, we can get housing for them if they are involved in our services. Like I said, we did suicide prevention community awareness events, a couple of them with the mayor. We have services in an MOU with Passages to offer the case management and skill building services for their clients that complement them, especially when they're in their group homes and apartments. And then the Whitley County Economic Development Program, which is for housing as well. Just some general services. I don't know how familiar you are with Bowen Center, but we have everything from individual therapy, group therapy, substance use group. We do med management services. We do have the medicated assisted treatment program for pregnant women primarily, and then people that are addicted to opioids. So we have that program that we've been offering. We do supported employment and housing. For Whitley County residents, we do offer a fee assistance program for them, so they get reduced rates of services if they live and reside in Whitley County. We do the Recovery Works program, where we have about 125 active clients in, and they get services from SU groups to individual services to med management, as well as skill building services. And then we are in the jail doing the moral recognition therapy to reduce recidivism. But that's just kind of a variety of the services that we offer.
Yeah, and in terms of return on the investment, we again appreciate the funding by the county. In exchange for that, we are now up over $2 million in payroll, and so that's a good return on your investment. We were at 40 employees, we're up to 44, now we're up to 50 employees. So again, more services being delivered. Last year, there were 1,430 persons served, and that's 5.4% of your population, or essentially 1 out of every 20 Whitley County resident receives services from Bowen Center. So we're here, and we're active, and we provide the psychiatric services on site, 2 child psychiatrists, and they're very rare. So again, it's a privilege to have them here serving clients in Whitley County. Okay. Any questions for us? Again, I realize we're throwing a lot at you.
Are all of these services billed services?
We do a variety. So we do have billed services through Medicaid insurance companies. We do provide charity care, self-pay services, court-ordered services. So it's definitely a variety. Covers everything.
About 80% of our clients, 80% of our revenue is Medicaid. So we're dealing with the persons who don't really have many other options to get services, so we're here to serve them.
Your headquarters are in Warsaw.
Yes, sir.
How big area do you cover out of that headquarters?
Our core counties are 5 core counties, which would be Marshall, Kosciuszko, Whitley, Wabash, and Huntington. We were invited in to work with the schools in Fort Wayne years ago, and that has expanded. We were invited in by the judge to get into Noble County, and that has expanded. And we were asked by the Division of Children's Service state contract to get into the other 3 counties up there in the Northeast County. So we're now in 10 counties. We have a differential fee scale. Those who are within our core counties pay a lesser amount for their services than the persons outside.
We're reminded of your organization every year when we get that letter in the mail that says under IC code so-and-so you have to pay us $200,000 a year. Nobody likes to be just told. And I've asked this question almost every time a presentation's been made, and I've never got the answer. Where does our $200,000? These people out here paying $200,000 a year to the Bowen Center. Where's that money going?
Well, I thought that's what Jamie was just describing. How would you like that presented in a way that would be clear?
I just want to know, does it go in your operating budget?
Yeah, it underwrites the
You
cost
get a
of
check
services.
from us, I think 2, and I'm just wondering where
Well, I
that,
say, the payroll alone was 10 times that much. So it comes back to you in services. I mean, these are people who are here in your county providing these services. These are 50 employees who are serving your community.
So it's free service then, we're paying for it?
No.
Okay, it's not free service then?
I guess I'm not
We're
sure.
subsidizing it?
Sure.
Okay. The supporting the county workers through the EAP program, is that free to the Whitley County government, or do we have to pay for that service?
They actually pay a per session rate that goes towards that. We serve a lot of the county governments around here. And then we also do some workshops that we've done just last week, which I coordinate with Pam, which has been a great working relationship over the last 5 or 6 years, providing, beyond the counseling, education on critical incident stress. It was great to see a lot of your leadership come and recognize for those first responders, and we invited this, the city to come to really just bring that collaboration together, just because there's so much that they need to know about the brain science, that critical incident stress they're exposed to. And
I'm not really arguing with your programs. I think your programs are great. I just want to know, who did you hire? Who hired the lobbyists that went to the legislator and said every county's got to pay for this service? Because that's essentially what happened.
Yeah,
Some
some
lobbyists.
Yeah, it would have been under Dr. Bowens.
Yeah.
He was governor.
Yeah.
He was in the
Okay,
legislature.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, I just think if we're going to pay $200,000, I think we need updated like you're doing right here. So I appreciate that. But
And if you'd like more details or any specific, just let us know and we'll be glad to provide it.
okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. That's it.
Okay. Tom, did you have anything else?
No, nothing else this time.
I guess at the least, I think we'd like to see a yearly report.
Sure, and we can come more often. Obviously, we don't want to pester you or be in the way of other
Sure.
business, but we
Sure.
will come as often as you like.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate that.
thank you.
Parkview. We're going to get a report on the services that we get from Parkview.
Good afternoon. I brought Dwayne Ginder with me, and Drew. Drew runs the dispatch. I'm going to have them talk a little bit about each of those processes. And I think the focus of today is just really more to clear some misconceptions that have been presented recently, help people understand how we're organized, how the system works, why we've done the things we've done, and just basically a little, hopefully, a better understanding of how things have been set up. So. First off, Parkview Willie Hospital. Parkview's been in this community for quite a few years. It's a $50 million facility that was built in this community, created 343 jobs. These are well-paying jobs that exist in this community. 56% of all of those employees reside in the area. These numbers hopefully give you a little understanding of the type of volume of patients who come through our doors. We have almost 15,000 patients, or over 15,000 patients, who come to our emergency room each year. Probably about 10% of those arrive by ambulance. We have about 1,600 patients who are in our inpatient beds. One of the things you have to understand is a nonprofit health system we give back to our communities in the form of community benefit. Lots of things are rolled up into that number. Things like charity care. If people do not have the ability to pay, we do not charge them. They qualify for charity care. We also give back to the form of community health improvement dollars. We've supported several nonprofits through donations in this community. A little bit about our contract. The contract we have with the county right now is a 5-year contract. That contract was at a savings of almost $400,000 from the prior contract. In that contract, we agreed to purchase all the ambulances and insure all the ambulances. There was some debate and some discussion about whether or not we were doing transfers at the expense. We did add another ambulance in order to better accommodate that. And I think we'll show you in some of the stats and numbers how that's working. So this has been thrown out a lot, 90% at 13 minutes, and the question has been, is 13 minutes too long? Well, I think the first thing you have to understand is 13 minutes is a metric we use to measure ourselves and is not a goal. All right, we do not shoot to be on scene in 13 minutes. You can play this number out very differently with some basic stats and looking at what our average times are. So when we look into South Whitley, we know our average time is around 6 minutes. The median time is 4 minutes, 47 seconds. So really, at the end of the day, the reason we look at that 13-minute metric is it can be, an average can be swayed by highs and lows. We do have times that it takes us longer, and I'll have Dwayne talk a little bit about one of those examples. But, you know, when you look at the basics of the run, 64 runs in South Whitley, 52 of those runs, we were in the town at the time of the run. And 81% of the time, we've been there on time. So I'm going to have Dwayne go through a little bit of an example of what happens. One of the things you have to understand about our world is 70% of the time that EMS operates, they're sitting, waiting. 30% of the time is when we have accidents, things to respond to. Now, unfortunately, people don't like to spread out those problems, and we get 50 of them in 1 minute, and then we have nothing. And that becomes a challenge of trying to run a system. So, Dwayne, I'll let you go through this.
Sure. The commissioners, you have seen this. At the beginning of the month, I pulled this information, and I had been sharing this information with George, but this month, and for the subsequent months, I've decided to share it with all the commissioners, and this is part of that report. We had, of our lights and siren responses, we had 2 with response times more than 20 minutes last month. One occurred prior to us adding the 4th ambulance. It was one of those times when we had 3 runs occur all essentially, well, close together. The very last ambulance was sent and then wound up in the road construction on 205 trying to get to the scene, so that would explain the longer response time. The other time we had a long response time occurred when we had 6 911 calls all within 63 minutes. We reviewed that. We had 2 ambulances available to take the call that came in. One was just leaving one of the nursing homes in the far north or southeast corner of the county. We had a Huntington truck that was moving on State Road 9, so they took the call. It took them more than 20 minutes to get there. As we reviewed the call, we note that we had CPR instructions started within 34 seconds of taking the call. At the same time, we had a Noble truck moving down, and this is really the benefit of the system. We didn't have to rely just on the Whitley trucks. We had other resources that came available for us.
I'm going to have Drew go a little bit of kind of how the process works when we actually call the dispatch center. This should work seamlessly for the patients. There is no need to repeat the information twice, has been suggested. If this and the handoff is done well, there should be no problems that are garnered from this. So, Drew?
So we worked this out several years ago with all of our other partnering dispatch centers, taking kind of best practices from what we've seen throughout the country of similar dispatch centers like ours. So the 911 call will come into the county dispatch. Essentially, they should gather an address, phone number, complaint. Sometimes a name's thrown in there depending on what that dispatcher wants or that dispatch center needs. From there, the address should be relayed to us, and then we start our care over the phone process with that. At the time that that's happening, I have one dispatcher taking care of the phone call, another one's taking care of the ambulances, so there's no interruption in care for those patients. And then that one dispatcher that's taking care of the ambulances is relocating other vehicles throughout our system to better suit what we have left to cover. Here in Whitley County, there's 4 ambulances. As you can see in the picture there, we work in a centralized logistics center for Parkview Health. So beyond just our EMS, we've got flight that we take care of. There's a police department that's sitting in there with us for Parkview. We also have our bed management system in there, which is, as we're starting to find out, very important when those larger incidents occur. We know more of what's going on with our entire system and where our resources should go to make, become available quicker. And kind of our flow that we have now allows for us to expand, which is how we're able to get that 4th ambulance in without any additional work on our end. Here's our entire system, you know, clear from the Michigan line down to the southern side of Huntington, clear over into Kosciuszko County. We've got 18 ambulances sitting up there, and that's kind of the benefit of our system. So when Whitley has 4 ambulances that are busy, they're not without an ambulance. We have someone else repositioning to cover those empty spots.
Before we move on, if you could go back real quick to that, I think what's important to understand, it's been inferred that we put people at risk by moving ambulances, or as he said, relocating ambulances. The reason we do that works in both directions, and I think it's important to understand that when any ambulance is out, we do relocate to kind of split the difference between the two. So, you know, yes, at times that South Whitley truck may move towards Columbia City if that truck is out on a run. But the opposite also happens. That truck in Columbia City may move towards South Whitley if it's out on a run, or whatever truck we need to do. We've also had the ability to utilize trucks that are in motion, which has been a huge benefit to us. That if a truck is on a transport run and coming back in, and it's the closest truck, we can redirect that to the scene of a 911. So it gives us a tremendous amount of flexibility in how we utilize our assets.
So we've had instances where our North Manchester truck is coming back from Whitley Hospital from delivering a patient and picked up a run in South Whitley. They were driving through the center of the town. They were the right truck, not a Whitley truck, but the right truck for that run. We've also had other trucks that have come through and needed to assist other trucks, other Whitley trucks that were busy on a motor vehicle accident, I believe. And it wasn't a Whitley truck, but it was driving through heading back to Fort Wayne. It was the right truck to use. It allowed us to keep resources available for other emergency calls in the area.
Scott talked about using their response time as a metric, and this slide represents 5 years of response data. The 2 lines, the lightly colored green line on the bottom, is looking at all of our emergency runs that we've taken. The dark green line is the lights and siren responses that we take. They're 2 different numbers. And you can see where we were at 68% was in 2014 prior to going to full-time staffing. That was our response time for that metric of being on scene in under 13 minutes. You see a market improvement, and the next time we see a market improvement is in 2017. I would expect this number to go up again because we've added a 4th truck this last month, and in June we only had 2 weeks of information on that. So, and then this is another benefit of the Parkview Dispatch Center. This occurred the first week that we had transitioned. I think it was actually the 2nd day that we had transitioned to the Parkview Dispatch Center, had a bus accident just outside of Cherubusco. We were able to put 5 ambulances either at the scene or where we relocated all the patients at the fire station. Within 15 minutes, we had 5 ambulances there. We also had 2 other, because we used resources from outside of Whitley County, we had 2 other ambulances available for the rest of the community taking other runs. We were able to transport a patient with a helicopter to PRMC. Drew talked about the logistics center and having bed management there. They told us the right place to take one of our other patients was not necessarily PRMC, but we took it to the Randalia Hospital in Fort Wayne, and then we split the rest of the patients between Parkview Whitley Hospital and Parkview Noble Hospital.
Again, I think it's important to understand that, you know, our commitment has always been to the patient and always will continue to be to the patient. That's what we do. It's what we're focused on. It is who we are as a business. We're committed to the community we serve. We give back in many different forms. I would tell you, we have some of the most dedicated, best EMS personnel around. Very, very proud of the job they do, and unfortunately, I think some of them have been challenged through some of this conversation, inappropriately so. I think, at the end of the day, they are the ones who arrive on the scene. They are the ones who live locally, know where the addresses are at. We've never seen or worked in a system where dispatch stayed on the phone to tell us how to get somewhere, whether it was our dispatch or was prior to transitioning to the centralized dispatch. As long as a good address is given to us, we've never had a problem getting to the scene. We have a long history of working with other people, and I think this is key to this discussion. We have not stopped anyone from placing an ambulance in South Whitley, and we've even volunteered to say we will dispatch that vehicle. If that is the most appropriate vehicle and we are not available, we will be more than glad to dispatch that to any scene. So, questions?
Can I share what I shared with you?
Sure.
Okay. In that memo?
Oh, sure.
Okay, all right. This even goes back to my era, okay? Well, the stats we put out were the stats we wanted out. We're no dummies. We weren't dummies back then, not dummies today. But I think, and as you know, I'm no longer on the oversight committee, and that was because it was a great breakfast and good camaraderie, but outside of that, nothing came out of that. Because what we got in that meeting was the good stats. So my point is, we need to stop looking at the good stats and figure out what went wrong with the bad stats. As an example, Dwayne, your latest report was all emergency runs were 222, 88% less than 13 minutes.
Okay.
Sounds good. I mean, I get it. But that means 27 patients had response times over 13 minutes. That's one, I guess, first of all, I'll be interested in seeing this statistic a month after the fourth ambulance. This was before, I believe, before the fourth ambulance was put in.
That was a split month.
Yeah.
And that's what
yeah. And then the lights and siren run saw 16 patients outside of the 13-minute standards, one every other day. Thirdly, while there was an explanation given for the run at 350 West and Lincoln Way, Drew, you seem pleased that CPR instructions were given 34 seconds from the call. I guess that's your job, but you're not there. You don't know if effective CPR is done or not. So and until the first responders got there. But my point is CPR still 100 times, chest compressions 100 a minute?
It is.
Now, if anybody's never done 100 compressions in a minute, that's a man killer. That's an absolute man killer.
It's tough.
So if we have to wait a long time for an ambulance and you're depending on first responders to do CPR, to me, and I think the explanation said, well, I guess what I'm trying to say, the statistic there should be how long before ALS and defibrillation was on the scene. I think that's vitally important information. That's CPR. You don't know if it's effective, but ALS and defibrillation, if needed, you know is. So my point is, I think a report should say, what are we doing about the runs that didn't meet the criteria and not touting? And again, I sat there. I did the same things. I gave the stats I thought sounded good. I gave them in this room probably. So, But I think what's important, and I'd like to see you do, is if you want to report to us what you're doing about the ones that fell outside. And I think your 13 minutes, it's not a magical number, but it's a number, and it's pretty much a national number. For rural EMS, it's pretty much a national number, and my research has shown that goes back to 2007, 2008. It's nothing new. So with that, I mean, that would be something that I would ask that you do is work with the failures, don't work with the successes. You're going to learn a whole lot more.
I guess if I could chime in real quick,
Sure.
I think, we could probably do a better job of writing that out for you. I think we've shown you a few examples when we've done and had those that are outliers. And I would tell you internally, we always do that. If there are outliers, they're always reviewed, and we're always looking for ways to improve. So if it's just a matter of how we report that out, I think that's something we certainly can accommodate.
Okay. The other comment I wanted to make, and I want to make this to the general public and media, you're partially to blame for this too. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think you report things quite right. Here's a situation with a lot of people sitting here today. We're not here, this group is not here to discuss who's going to give better care in South Whitley. South Whitley, by law, has the ability to hire anyone they want to cover their area. That's just the way it is. This group is not sitting here saying, you can't do that. We've never said that. We can't say that. The problem boils down to, can or will Whitley County dispatch another ambulance in South Whitley? That's all this boils down to. Not whether or not these times are appropriate, they're inappropriate. That's not our bailiwick. We don't deal with if Lod wanted to put their own ambulance in. That's up to them. That's up to them, and they have the right to by law. They have the right to do that. The laws as far as the commissioner states, we have to see there is an organized EMS system in the county. That's what the law, that came from 1974, that came almost directly from Dr. Bowen. So we're not here judging whether or not South Whitley should have a Lutheran ambulance, a Parkview ambulance. That's not what we're doing.
Or their own.
We're simply, or their own. If our fire department wanted to start one. The question here, and I just want to make sure, because I pick up the paper and I read these stories about care and this and that, not an issue with me. I've been asked to whether or not we should let the town of South Whitley, Cleveland Township, be dispatch an ambulance by our sheriff's department. So I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page here, and it has nothing to do with the care. And I appreciate your report. I think we've talked many times. We'd like to hear those reports. So, and I appreciate it. But that's it for me. Thank you.
Tom? I don't have anything. Other questions at this time?
Okay.
I just want to reiterate, I think, one of the things we want to make sure to what you mentioned is the fact that we believe the centralized dispatch is working. The times have improved. It gives us a better ability to serve this county. It's a better ability to serve all the counties we've been in so far. I would suggest if that becomes a question is talk to some of the folks who've been in some of the other counties who've been doing this for a long time. There was some skepticism at first, that whole idea of not being local, not working locally, but I would tell you most of those, as we've worked with them, would stand up here and tell you it's working well in their counties.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Drew. Alex Bugenschmidt from Buchanan and Bugenschmidt.
Easy for you to say.
You did that better than I would.
That's exactly why he's the chairman. He knows how to pronounce their names.
It's almost as good as Schimbeckler, right?
Thank you.
There's state statute that provides that a treasurer can,
Keep 10%?
no,
Okay, well, I was just curious if that's what.
no, to go through any means what we need to do to collect these taxes. And as you can see, there's a property at 309 Vine Street that hasn't paid their taxes in probably approximately 25 years. The property doesn't sell at tax sale because it's a contaminated property, and so this is an alternative. And Alex is going to present you with how that's possible.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Alex Bruggenschmidt. I represent over a dozen counties and municipalities in property tax matters. It's kind of a niche specialty area. Here in Whitley County, you've got a problem parcel that the traditional enforcement mechanisms don't work for it. Fortunately, there is another statutory remedy, one that is not too often pursued in Indiana because the tax sale is commonly more effective, but it allows the county treasurer to initiate an action to recover delinquent taxes, special assessments, penalties due on a property. The good news is that it also allows for the collection of attorney's fees on top of that statutorily. So the proposition here is that we would be able to add the cost that for my services into the amount we collect, so that my services would come at no cost to the county in collecting these taxes. Happy to address any questions you might have about this engagement letter.
Well, of course, we haven't read this yet, but can you elaborate a little more how this process works? Maybe it's in here, but
sure.
As you know, we've just received it.
Very good. So you are authorizing me in this engagement letter to initiate an action against the property owner to recover the taxes. So this means a lawsuit. It's typically in the name of the county treasurer. County commissioners are also authorized to initiate such an action. We're before you to make sure all the county officials are on board before we do something like this. So it's a lawsuit. We sue for the taxes and penalties. We get a judgment against the property owner, and we take steps to collect on that judgment if it's not voluntarily paid. That would include, it's called motion for proceeding supplemental, to make the debtor come in and answer as to what assets they might have to pay the judgment. So we can do things like garnish bank accounts, garnish wages. Though it's not commonly done anymore, you can seize assets and have the sheriff sell them to satisfy the judgment. So we're basically taking aggressive legal collection action against this particular property where taxes haven't been paid for
Approximately 25 years.
Yeah, 25 years.
But we're only collecting 10 years as the state statute.
Says you only go back 10 years.
Yeah, we're going to go back as far as we're legally allowed to.
I guess I have to ask, where's the city at? Because, come on, you guys, we're not getting this money.
No.
No, we don't get the money. Why isn't the city involved here? Because it's all their money.
Well,
Not all of
state
it.
statute allows.
By golly, 90% of it, I bet
Yeah,
you.
well,
Well, 70.
I guess I'm just saying, I don't want to spend any money.
Well, we're not going to spend any money, because all of
'Cause
this,
they're gonna have to pay it off.
fees are going to come on top.
All right, okay.
And we are collecting nothing at this point. So something, 10 years, is better than nothing. There's a history of over 25 years of paying
Oh,
nothing.
yeah, I know, and truth be known, we had an agreement with this individual to pay, and he reneged on the agreement. So there's no feeling sorry for anybody here, but then I think, I want to make sure we, the county, aren't out anything, because we're not going to gain anything.
I don't think we'll be out anything. His fees
This is
are in
almost-
addition to.
Okay.
so
I'm not going to bill the county for anything the county doesn't collect. So there's going to be no out-of-pocket cost.
So if there's ever anything collected on this figure that's absorbent, the county still gets its share, and your fees are on top of that,
Yes, sir.
not part of it.
Correct.
What kind of success rate are you having?
It depends. Most of the time, we're dealing with tax sale remedies, but it's all a function of who the debtor is, right? In this case, we know that the person has assets and income to satisfy the judgment, so I'd say the likelihood of success is quite high. If you're going after people that don't have anything, success rate, much, much lower, obviously.
But this is a rather unique situation because of the contamination.
Yes, it is.
All right.
The law says that the owner of record is personally liable for the property taxes if he's the owner as of the assessment date, regardless of the condition of the property. So that's the kind of the basis we're using to go this route.
Questions?
You got to have some more.
I don't think I have enough information right now to ask questions. I still want to know what the city's involvement is going to be, because
we're going to get
when they take
Look at a portion of the collection, just like the schools and the township and the county. It's just that
we have to initiate
it. It's just that the treasurer's position is to collect these taxes. It's not the city's
Now,
responsibility.
These state statutes that allow this to happen, it has to originate from the treasurer's office.
Not necessarily. I think the commissioners have the authority also.
Yeah, so it's commissioners or treasurer, but the overall point is the county treasurer has the statutory duty to collect property taxes on behalf of all units of government, whether it's a municipality or the county. So it's the way the law is set up in Indiana, where it's the county's obligation to collect this revenue.
Matt, this is all new to you, right?
Yeah, it is, and isn't there and they only know this because Lori, I think, is involved with it, isn't there something going on related to this property to go after the insurance recovery, and do you guys even know about that part of it?
Well, I guess what I was going to do is make a motion that we turn it over to Matt right now to study this situation.
I'm happy to do that. From my perspective, I mean, I guess if I had a question, is there something unique about you guys, I mean, that makes you uniquely qualified to do this that, frankly, I couldn't just do it, I guess, or whoever?
No, I mean, I'm sure you're qualified to collect this debt like this. I just have a lot of property tax and tax sale experience, having worked with a bunch of counties in this area handling these types of matters.
I'm not familiar with this statute, so if there was some uniqueness to the action or...
It's just an obscure statute that is not very common.
That's what I've never heard of, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, I would say my motion is to give this information to Matt and let him digest it until our next meeting. I mean, is that too soon? Can you report on it next meeting?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Can I call you?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll leave my contact info.
Gotcha. Very good.
We've got a motion to table until Matt has a chance to take a look at it.
Second.
Got a second? Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's right.
But see, they're not.
See that?
I was gonna say, see there, we were going for the 30,000.
Yeah.
We're going for the 104, so that's better. It's a good deal. I'll learn you that. It's a good deal. I just don't know enough about it.
Okay, next on the agenda is Randy Coco, EMS Dispatch.
You know, if I come up here anymore, I'm gonna have to request that you get me a name plate.
Okay.
Maybe you ought to run for office.
Well, maybe. Did you?
Thank you, buddy.
Okay, yeah.
I appreciate that.
See, Randy, I still got mine.
Oh, okay, great. My remarks today will be brief. Over the past several months, I have spoken to you about EMS in our small community. I have explained the difference in the EMS of yesterday and today. I have championed the care, yet tirelessly voiced my concern of the unpredictability of the current system. I have revealed South Whitley's commitment to change and the implementation of Lutheran Whitley EMS. And I have shared how a partnership between Parkview EMS and Lutheran Whitley EMS would not only be beneficial to our residents, but all county residents. I have described the process in detail, how this unique partnership can save life and protect the citizens of Southwest Whitley County. Today, I am asking you for a motion and a favorable pass to allow the Whitley County Sheriff Dispatch to dispatch for Lutheran EMS. Today, I am asking you to show your commitment to the residents of South Whitley and Cleveland Township, and I thank you for your time and your service to our county.
Thanks, Randy. I will make such a motion that we allow the Sheriff's Department to dispatch the ambulance contracted by South Whitley, Cleveland Township.
We got a motion to approve dispatch through our Sheriff's Department for Cleveland and Cleveland Township and South Whitley. Being no second motion will die. Thanks, Randy. Randy, I would like to say one thing that Parkview and I think Scott, one of the issues that he came up with is we're not really, we're dealing with the residents of South Whitley and Cleveland Township. It's not whether we have dispatch from the Sheriff's Department, just that they are dispatched. Parkview is willing to dispatch the most appropriate ambulance available in South Whitley. Isn't that a great situation for South Whitley?
Well, as Scott and I have discussed this before, he's willing to dispatch our ambulance if all his assets are exhausted. And that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for Lutheran Whitley EMS to be the primary responder, because they will be down there in South Whitley responding to emergency runs, and then utilizing Parkview as a secondary responder if our ambulance is out. So although I'm intrigued that he's willing to do that, I don't think he's doing it for the right reason.
Scott, would you like to?
Well, again, I think we said we would always dispatch the most appropriate vehicle, which will be the most appropriate vehicle. So it wasn't a first in, first out, it's the most appropriate vehicle. And it's not a matter of whether or not who came first, it's a chicken and egg discussion then at that point in time. If they're committed to that community, they should be willing to support that.
And, you know, I give you props. You know, Parkview has done a wonderful job in South Whitley. It's just the unpredictability of you being in that. And to have that covered by hiring Lutheran.
Well, again, we're not challenging that. You know, you're more willing to use them, and we will dispatch them.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Randy. Debbie Beers, re-precincting.
I wasn't here last week, so did my chief deputy get you information to you through Jana on the re-precincting?
I don't think I got it here.
No, okay. And I'm going to stand right here then, so I can show you. Okay, the first thing that I have here is an ordinance that was passed. It's an ordinance for the annexation of territory by the city of Columbia City, commonly known as the Dittmer Annexation Territory. And this is a copy of it right here. This was back in 2015 that they did this annexation. Okay, and I'm just going to set that right there. So basically, what I want to show you is what we want to re-precinct is from Union West. Can you see, Tom? From Union West to Union Columbia City. And that will be within the city limits. I'm going to show you in the back here what I'm talking about.
Eagle Glen has always
Yes.
been sort of
Yeah.
odd that way. You got Eagle,
But
you got Union, and you got Union Columbia City.
It's a property, it's an Eagle Glen subdivision.
And what it is, it's all this property right now where all that building is taking place.
Yeah.
A lot of building. Right now in Union CC, we have 145 registered voters. We have gotten, I would say within the past couple of months, about 20 to 25 new voter registrations that have come in from this area.
Sure.
So that's what I'm asking. I'll show you here. Maybe you can see this better. Right here. See, here's Eagle Glen, that's Union CC. This is the portion that we're talking about right here. Sorry. And if you want to see all of Union West, you can see right here, here's Union West, and we're just talking about this little portion right here.
Right.
To re-precinct.
Yeah. The precinct.
So it's going from Union West, and it'll be re-precinct into Union Columbia City, Union CC.
But it's still part of the Eagle Glen subdivision.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know, I mean, yes, it's in Eagle Glen's precinct, but I don't think they're part of Eagle Glen. I think it's separate.
Yeah, and those folks will all vote in the municipal elections.
Yes.
But it's part of the city.
Yep. Okay.
It will be.
Yep.
Well, it is now because it's already been annexed.
See, here's another, this is Union, but it's in Columbia City.
Yep.
So when you look
Union
at, if you ever look at tax distribution, you'll see it says Union/Columbia City. So you know exactly what area it is. A little confusing for the
It is.
Union Township trustee, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but nonetheless. You say redistricting,
Re-precincting.
re-precincting.
Yep.
Boy, that's a new one.
And I have a copy of the order. What did oh, it's over here, I think. And this is the order right here, and it has all of the IC codes on it. And basically, it's order to establish precinct.
I don't think we have much choice. I think it has to be done. I'll make a motion that we establish the re-precincting.
And I have 2 copies here, and I only wanted to have a separate copy to give to Gianna right away, because this will then need to be published in the newspaper. So I'll have a copy for Gianna also.
So the people living in this area that get re-precinct, they don't have no say.
It's already been annexed by the city, yeah.
So since the annexation has taken place,
It took place before those homes were ever built.
Yes.
So when they moved in, they accepted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Got a second? Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Those are the same.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So what basically do they get to do that they didn't before?
They get to vote in the municipal.
In the city election?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Debbie.
Jan, is that your note? Was that? That was in the papers she just handed me.
Oh, okay.
What we gotta do?
And Amanda and Jenny are here on behalf of Nathan.
Okay, good. What's Amanda and who? Just Amanda? Oh, Jennifer. Okay, next on the agenda is the rezoning site from AG to rural residential, and that's Amanda and Jennifer.
Thank you. This petition from Site Incorporated is to rezone the unplatted remaining acreage of Lincoln Point from AG agricultural to RR rural residential. This petition was before the Plan Commission on June 21st and received a favorable recommendation. It was determined that rural residential is a better fit for suburban-style subdivisions such as Lincoln Point. And also the developers are intending to build duplex villas on 7 lots, which is not allowed in agricultural districts, but it is allowed as a special exception in rural residential. The petition for the special exception was approved on June 27th by the BZA, contingent on this rezoning. Are there any questions?
No, the only comment I made, the owners already own this land, part of Lincoln Point. It's just an addition to Lincoln Point. So it was not much debated about it at the Planning Commission. They approved it, and it's just an addition to Lincoln Point, which is already there. Everything's in place for a subdivision.
Not against in the vote.
Correct.
Do I have a motion for approval?
I so move.
Second.
We've got a motion, we've got a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor raise your right hand, opposed the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
A little slow, sorry. There is an ordinance number. It's going to be 2017-07.
Okay, and that ordinance number on that will be 2017-07.
How many of those are there to sign?
Just one to sign.
Just one.
Just one? Legal description.
Next on the agenda is Brandon Forrester, Highway Department update.
Good afternoon.
Brandon?
First thing on my agenda is railroad crossing grant to improve pavement markings and signage at all of our at-grade railroad crossings. NDOT has a fund that they disperse money out of towards this, and so our office manager Beth has graciously compiled all the information, and we are requesting $11,795, and I've reviewed everything. She's got quotes and all the locations. It's all complete. All we need is a signature from the chairman of the commissioners, if you would so.
What's the chances of receiving this grant money?
I don't know. It's the first time that we've done it for this type of a project.
I think this type of project's new.
Well, they've been doing it for years.
Have they?
I just
read about it last week, so.
They've been doing it for a while.
So does this happen all over the state of Indiana?
Yes.
And you got a pot of money and everybody wants it, and they got to divide it up, and everybody might get a little.
Yeah, hopefully.
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
So if this money comes through, does it go in the highway fund, or where does it go?
It is actually a reimbursement. We have to spend the money up front, but we have until 18 months after the award to spend it, so.
And then they're not going to give you any until you spend it.
Absolutely. They award the grant, we spend the money, they reimburse us.
You spend up to the amount of the award.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we need a vote on this then?
Well, unless you just want to sign it.
Sure. Take a motion, we apply for the grant.
Okay, we've got a motion to apply for the grant from MnDOT for reimbursement. You got a second? Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
And then while we're in signing mode, I've got a permit for a new fiber optic from along Lincoln Way East, from basically 300 East to 500 East and down 500 East and across 30 to Kwesi School.
Oh, okay. CenturyLink?
It is not CenturyLink. It is WANRAC is the company that's installing the fiber for the school system. It's to connect all the schools.
That's just a contractor.
And they haven't started, in other words. They're not done and they want their permission now?
I am not aware that they have started yet. I don't believe they have.
But that name's just the contractor that's doing it.
Yep. Yes. It is for the schools.
Is this ready for approval?
It is. Do I have a motion?
There.
Wow. You only need to look at the second page. I mean, the rest of it's all plans.
It was approved this morning.
Drainage Board approved it for all drain crossings.
Good. Those right-of-ways are getting pretty full.
There they are. So we do have a motion.
Second. Did you make a motion?
No, I'm waiting for you to make a motion.
All right, so move.
I've made 90% of them today. Second.
Okay, we got a motion, we got a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Is that construction, is that supposed to start shortly?
I did not ask for a schedule. In theory, they're gonna need to wait for the other two contractors to get out of the way before they start that one.
Is there a place on this?
Brandon, did you ever find out what they were gonna do on 9?
I did not ask. No, not for sure.
Just curious.
Well, actually, I did get, there was something that came from the state about how they're spending money for the next 5 years throughout the state, and State Road 9 North Columbia City was shown as a project on the map, but there was no description for that project, so, well, I'll say better than 50% sure that they're doing a route survey, and like I said, there was a project that they had asked me about section corners, you know, a month or two ago, so they got something in the works, but.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
You said they got signs up?
Well, they've got posts up, and they've got pink and green flags coming from them, and I'm not sure, it's about every half a mile or so they've got, it's marked out.
They did it on all state roads.
Did they?
All state roads in Whitley County have been surveyed.
Oh, have they? Okay, maybe that's,
14 and
I've heard it's gonna be dual lane interstate toll
Toll.
from here to Bear Road.
Yeah, you didn't know that? At the end of it, they're gonna put in a landfill, and on both sides, we're gonna have windmills.
Yeah, there you go.
think you had a crowd today.
It's a crowd.
To supplement the $12,000 grant, on the 11th, I submitted a $1 million grant request for a community crossings project. Just to say good job, Highway Department, not just me, but myself and all the route guys and Kevin put all the work into that. That a lot of counties were spending $30, $40, upwards of $60,000 last year to do that work, so.
Yeah, they were going out and hiring people to do that, and you guys did it on your own.
Right.
We do appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Brandon.
And finally,
Not easy.
I have presented a chip seal plan in map form. I've got it in list form. In theory, it's the route that we're going to take. Haven't heard anything different. After today, we should be about 20% complete with the 100 miles that we're planning on doing this year. That includes, about 3 3/4 miles on Raber Road, all of Kaiser Road. We're out on Division Road today, and we'll probably finish today on 650 West, north of Larwell. But we're kind of making a circle, and then we're going to kind of double back. We got some priming to do, and then we'll come back and hit the remainder in the south end, so.
New machine working well?
Yes, it is working well. We had a roller come loose, but it was put it back on and move on, so.
You still think you're gonna get those 100 miles done?
Absolutely.
All right.
We're gonna do 110 next year.
Gotta get the first 100 done first.
I heard you had one minor problem.
Oh, well, yeah.
You can't get the signs picked up and moved fast enough.
Well, you know what? If that's the biggest problem we've got,
that's exactly what I said.
when you come up on that chip seal train, if you come up from behind, they're in good shape. If you come up from in front of it, you need to turn around and get out of the way, because we're not.
No, I just thought that was a
20 foot
cute
wide
because it's so efficient and works so well. And of course, I think to move those signs, you don't just drive around, you got to go all the way around and move them, and I thought, that's a great problem.
Yeah, right.
I love
There you
it. I love it.
Okay, that's all I got. You got any questions or comments?
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay, is Star coming?
I see the
Star is back there.
Okay.
The star
Oh.
is back
The
there.
stars are there.
Star insurance premiums for the county.
The stars can align, they'll be here.
I have my phone, I apologize, I've been on vacation, so I've got some things on here. So, I don't know what all's been shared. I know I've communicated with Pam and George on the renewal. The renewal came in very favorable, 1.67% overall rate increase. I mean, you can't get any better than that.
No.
You know, we had some recent changes with the plan itself and additional liability, so that helps to control the cost. We do have one laser on the plan, so one individual is lasered outside of the traditional specific deductible, which is $60,000. They're lasered at $200,000. So that additional exposure of $140,000 is included in that 1.67% rate increase.
That's great.
So overall, the plan ran really, really well last year. There were 2 individuals that hit spec. So other than that, the plan ran exceptionally well. We do have some improvements that we've looked at. One of them is that we're going to look at potentially implementing some telemedicine into the plan to help those employees. Maybe when we looked at the ER visits, they weren't being abused by any means, but maybe some office visit calls, things happen middle of the night, you know, especially with individuals with young kids. Happens in the middle of the night, what are they going to do? They're going to either go to the emergency room or they're going to wait till first thing in the morning to go. Well, if we implement the telemedicine, we can potentially have that at no cost to them, and then a flat cost to the county, and it will help save the office visits or that emergency room charge. So we're looking at a couple options. We do offer that through our system. We have looked at, because it is Signature Care exclusive, employees are following that plan structure very well. I mean, nobody's going outside of the network, they're not abusing the plan by any means. So my recommendation on the plan for this year, because it was such a successful year, we did change the pre-cert over to Signature Care, which helped to bring the premium down a little bit. And that will be effective 8/1. Other than that, my recommendation is we keep the plan moving status quo for now. We don't foresee anything major coming along. We do have some prescriptions, the RX Help Centers, that we know that we can hit upon those individuals again and work in connection with PM to get in front of those employees and their spouses. But my recommendation is keep everything moving the way it has been for the past year. I would even recommend keeping the premiums exactly the same, because a 1.67% rate increase, you're less than $1. So my suggestion is, you know, for the employees' benefits, because they are doing the right thing, keep their premiums exactly the same.
Good. Sounds great.
Because we're doing a great job for those of you that are on the plan.
Good work.
Yep.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you
Any
guys.
questions?
Thank you guys for
Yeah,
working
thank
hard
you.
for that too. That doesn't come easy, I know, so.
Yep.
George and Pam and you spend a lot of time.
That lady's put tons of hours in.
She has.
That's the one named Pam, yeah, that's the one I said.
This is your cost.
That's no way to talk about
If you
man.
like that much, it's best that much.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Is it gonna go up?
Sorry, I can't participate anymore.
Hey, you're on a good plan yourself.
That was before, that was when we thought we were paying.
Yeah, look at her back there.
Okay, well, do you have yours then? Compared to
George.
what you sent me last?
I gotta have a break.
Yeah, I think we just
You're
got
on
it.
Okay.
You need to take a break?
I gotta have a break.
I think we got them Friday. That's a 1.67 instead of the
Yeah.
12 point.
Yeah, it's not 12.67 anymore, it's 1.67.
Okay.
Due to some changes.
So you can send those to Vicky, the new rates, so she can do it for
If you're
you.
busy, you might as well take a break.
Yes. She has.
We'll take a 5-minute break.
Take me that long.
She has them.
I think she used that, and they're just going up.
Yeah, she's got them. These were the new ones that Leslie sent out, was July 6th, so that was with the new rate. Yep,
Okay.
so she's got them.
So yeah, that's what she used for these.
Okay.
So, does that look about right? I mean, that's what she gave me.
Yeah, and here it is, it's broken down, employee only, she's got admin cost, medical.
I think I gave the wrong address. I think I said 309 Vine, and it's 309 Diamond Avenue. So when
I know what you meant.
well, and everybody knew.
The right address is on the number, so.
Yeah,
It is.
there is a number.
Yeah, I saw somewhere.
It's
got the real one on there.
309 Diamond here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will not change, the number on the plan, so that's the.
How do you,
Do you want to just
how
kind
does she
of,
know that? I mean, is that
That much.
guy just go around saying he does that stuff? Is it?
Yeah, so these plans will go up that much for the employer portion.
okay, the employer portion.
Right.
That's just the employer system.
Yep, this is
Okay.
just,
Keeping the employees the same, we'll start
Okay.
recommending.
And that's per year. That's a yearly increase then, right?
no, I think that's per pay.
That's perfect.
Comes to
At 1.74%?
What are the numbers? Here's the numbers right here.
I haven't heard of it.
Yes, sir, I didn't have that with me.
I mean, what he's taught, I thought it was.
It's broken down by like employee. It'd be that total. I'd have to look at an old bill compared to now, but it hasn't gone up very much at all.
Has he ever talked about just doing that for her?
But you're saying that, okay, just a single is $6, the family is going up $166? Or that's what it will be, it's $166.98.
That will be the employer's portion. The employee pays the $128.40. Okay. So she's estimating that to be the new employer. Is that correct in your numbers? Is that what she gave you? I don't know, because I don't see I don't know a definition.
Right. I don't know if she said that's how much it's going up or if that's going to be the amount per person. Maybe it is the,
Yeah, nothing was ever.
I can tell you the amount for a family right now is 1,900. I think it's 1,900 a month. Or 1,900.
I'll call him,
I have a bill in there. We can look at it when we're done.
yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Can we hold this off till the next meeting?
That's fine. Okay. Yeah, I can figure it out whenever we look at the
Maybe
bill.
if you want to come up later, if you have time,
That's
we'll
fine.
just talk.
And we'll get everything done all at once next meeting.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, she just needs to, I think, because we're not changing the employee rates, just,
Right.
this is just employer portion going up.
Yeah.
Okay. She just needs to make sure what she needs to, you know, take out. and
Get
pay
ahead of
or-
time.
Yeah.
Because
so-
August is coming.
Yeah, very quickly.
Well, I have a 3 o'clock, that's why I'm trying to figure out if I should.
Henry, did you get my message? I called you back that day. I left it. Did I leave a message? Or no?
You just about running out of time, Charlie.
I think you're good. Do you want me to?
Okay.
Then just give it to me.
Did you, Jana,
I've got my note.
can you make yourself a note to check? Has the EMS donation fund been zeroed out?
Yes.
Do you know where the check went or anything? Dwayne's never seen it, so he didn't.
Let me check on it.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yep.
Okay, we'll continue our meeting. And we're gonna table that until next meeting because we weren't sure of the numbers that Vicki needed on the insurance.
Oh, okay, oh.
I would, if you guys are good, I would still give you your approval.
Okay.
We just need to figure out what she.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get the approval for the
Yeah.
insurance, the new rates, and then Vicki can figure out what's the county's portion and the employee's gonna stay the same.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Employees to stay the same. That's what we do.
Okay, so I'd make a motion, we approve the contract for the health insurance for another year, but have you guys figure out the employee versus employer.
And the employee stays the same. Employee premium stays.
Put that in the motion.
Yeah.
Okay, so I approve signing of the contract for next year. Now, explain to me the percentages.
Also,
You're still working on those?
we're going to confirm those amounts, but we want
The
to
county.
make sure the employee's portion of the premiums stay the same.
Okay, then upon confirmation of the employee percentage.
Repeat that,
Employer
please.
percentage.
Employer percentage. you got it.
Employer percentage.
Employer percentage, you got it.
No, there's not a chance in the
Repeat
world.
that, please.
Yeah, no chance in the world.
With
Did
the
you expect me to
employee's
second that?
premium staying the same.
You got hearing aids, I got hearing aids.
Basically, what we're doing is approving the new contract for a year with the employees' portion that they pay the same as 2016 or 17 was what they'll pay in 2018. And the county portion will change, but we have to verify that yet with.
So we're absorbing the change,
Yeah.
right?
At one point.
At 1%.
Yeah, 1.6%,
Absorb means we're
yeah.
taking it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. You okay with that then? Okay, minutes. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes
Yeah.
for our last meeting?
Move we approve them as presented.
You'll have a second.
A motion to approve as presented. I'll second that. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Abstain.
And one abstention. Claims.
I had an opportunity to review the claims on Friday, and I just didn't find anything out of the ordinary, and, but I will start with, I'd make a motion that we approve the payroll claim. I'll start with that one.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the payroll claims. Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
And then I would make a motion that we approve the accounts payable.
Also second that.
Motion to approve accounts payable, we've got a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
There's this one.
Ask it. There's just something wrong with that.
I've already signed the other
Yeah.
page, so you just.
Oh, you'll sign the other?
Yeah.
Okay,
I know,
check one.
really.
I don't know how to do it.
And here's these.
Miss one meeting. Miss one meeting.
These meetings would be half as long if we didn't have all these signatures.
Pam?
Yes, thank you. I have a couple of things. A couple of requests to use the county facilities. One is for a wedding on July 29th, 2017, a 30-minute ceremony at the gazebo. We're at 3:30, starting at 3:30, no electricity, nothing else needed, just a 30-minute wedding.
Move we approve it.
Motion to approve, second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Maybe they ought to rethink this though, but it's our problem.
While you're signing that, I'll go ahead and do the other one for request to use county facilities. This is the Veterans Marathon. Again, this year presented by Three Rivers Running Company. This will be a race on Saturday, thank you, November the 11th. The race begins at 8 a.m. and will close at 2 p.m. with the ceremony there. They will need electricity hookup, but only at the gazebo like they've had every other year, no additional requirements.
Move we approve it.
Second. Got a motion to approve, got a second. Any further discussions?
Only that I will participate the same as I have every other year.
In a golf cart.
Yeah, reading about it.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Ever seen the sticker on my back of my truck?
The 0?
0.0. I don't run.
Thank you, that's all we had, gentlemen. George, I'm going to turn this over to you, though. That is the panic button, if you want to update the guys.
Yeah, I don't know, did you see the paperwork on the panic button that we have? This is from Mark. The panic button that's activated within the government center, the county dispatch is notified by a pre-recorded message from an auto dialer that's set up by Williams Electronics, without a description or a location of where the button was hit.
Yeah. So that means they could press any button in this building and dispatch.
Sure.
Sheriff or police officers wouldn't know where to go.
I don't know, 10 years ago, it wouldn't work.
Yeah. So basically what Mark is saying, we really need to have a third-party monitoring system for that so that each individual panic button will be identified if something happens. The cost of the program setup fee is $395 and it's a $30 a month fee.
Okay. Okay.
Is there any better situation besides the $30 a month?
Not and have it monitored.
360 a year.
Move we approve it.
Second.
Got a motion to approve, we got a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Could I ask that maybe sometime we might consider for employees, maybe a little bit of training or protocol on what would be appropriate to use that, because oftentimes we'll get angry people that make threats and we don't know whether they're going to be real on them or they're just, so That's the kind of the idea. When do we push it? Not
Good idea.
just hold something.
Something should be refreshed every once in a while anyway. You got that, Pam?
I did, thank you.
Janet, did you have anything?
Just two things. The first thing, last Friday, the DLGF did send out our maximum levy calculations. I'll be forwarding that email to you after the meeting. And the second thing is, with our health insurance, along with that, because we had to pay the December payment this January, we are going to be short. So, just be in discussions with you guys about doing an additional appropriation for your budget. So, we knew it was gonna come, but it's getting to that time where we need to do it, so. Just to give you the heads up.
And we may have that additional amount through the fund, George.
Yeah, I think right now we've got,
Yeah.
Okay.
the trust fund is up close to 200
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, so
Awesome, okay.
So hopefully we can take it out of there.
Okay, that's it.
Commissioner?
No, I don't have anything at this time.
I see Lana's here.
I failed to bring my formal report, but I could ask or answer any questions anybody has. I'm going to have a lot better report after Wednesday.
Right. I just thought, while you were here, I tried to explain again to, and by the way, don't leave until you get all the stuff off my desk, okay? Got a lot of stuff there. If you've been involved in paying attention to the regional sewer district information that's coming about, everyone who's already been invited to what we call the community meeting has been invited to a county-wide meeting. That's an IDEM regulation, and I don't want to take words out of your mouth, but there's no new news, right?
That's right.
It's redundant for the same information, so to go is up to you. So I appreciate that. And
So to let everyone know, this is Lana Brigazzi. She's with BCS Management, and she's working with us on the regional sewer district. I know that, Henry, did you have a question?
Yeah, it's beginning to have a strong methane
I mean, if
odor.
I were you, would you be comfortable?
I don't think the county knows anything about it. And to have a meeting
But he lives in your district.
10 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday.
And I could name him
is
instead of
not
me. I was going to
community
serve on
meeting.
it myself, but I could name
That
him
is
instead of me.
Well,
But I need a name from you
saying
pretty
anyone
soon.
who's actually going to be
I
involved
know.
in a project.
And I would,
Researched as a project, we're holding separate community meetings in the evening with those residents to talk
I don't know where to
specifically about
look.
their area.
do you mean nominate for me?
No, that's okay.
What's
No,
our
I would
application
have,
to
that'd be
have
fine.
a sewer run there?
South Whitley's going to have
Is
their
it
own
a builder?
nomination.
Who's on the board?
Yeah, but I mean,
That's
Cleveland
the-
Township area.
I know.
Is it going to do like Allen County and have
I would
everybody
like
on the board that it's going to make money from this project?
Well, everyone on the board in Allen County, I can tell you, does not make money from the projects. I know
Rick
that
Zier?
Rick Zier does like to be informed of where the projects are going.
Yeah,
Well,
and he's capable
They
of
called me the
providing
other
the
day.
first
I didn't take
petition
the
for
call.
it,
He does
I've
not
seen
like
that work
Tedness
where they
at
tried to
all
go out across
whatsoever.
Cedar Creek
He's unhappy at Tedness's.
with a 2-inch sewer line.
Just so you have some.
All the waivers that people have to sign to do it, or they're threatened with foreclosure on their properties, tax liens, and what's going on, what I've seen, the presentation to the city of Columbia City, it's all glossed over. It's not the reality of how that works.
Well, we're not looking to imitate exactly what Allen County does. When we talk
That's not.
about condemning homes, that's actually something that is within the authority of the Department of Health. And historically, the Department of Health managed those meetings in Allen County. We're looking to have a third party, that's why we're here, that doesn't have interest in building, doesn't have interest in condemning homes or enforcing the Department of Health. We're here to offer an alternative solution to failed and failing septic systems throughout the county.
How do you determine the failing system?
Based on Department of Health records, Department of Health testing, and it's a complaint-based system.
not the way it works in Allen County, because they changed the rules, and when they provide the initial base plan, if your septic system is not up to the current standard, you are automatically failing. If you're going to use that same thing, you're just hurting the people to the benefit of what's out there.
Those decisions haven't been made.
Well,
You're getting the cart in front of the horse here. We don't even have a board yet.
That's what worries me, is who goes on that board, because I watched and I worked with Allen County, and that's why I moved to Whitley, because of the stink of how that works in there.
Now, you're saying septic stinks in Henry?
Huh?
You're saying septic stinks?
No, I'm saying the way that...
Come on.
I'm saying
Yeah.
the way that Allen County...
I got it, and I apologize for not calling you back the other day. And yes, he is involved. Of course he's involved.
My other question is, who formally brought to your committee the request that this be formed?
IDEM. IDEM came to us and they informed us.
Or their group?
No, IDEM.
Oh, IDEM.
IDEM informed us that we were going to be an MS4 entity, or we are an MS4 entity at this point, and that we had to show that we were going forward with dealing with our septic. It's a storm sewer separation is what it is. It's
Federal regulation.
It's a federal regulation. Columbia City is an MS4 entity, and they've got to do all kinds of monitoring. And it just, it's again, it's a lot of...
Wayne's trying to do it too, but they're not separating.
But I want to go back even a little farther, Henry, a little farther. This gentleman right here has come to us on numerous occasions. This is Scott Wagner, Board of Health.
Yeah.
Numerous occasions. You come to my house and we can walk, literally walk from my house to a housing area where the septics are junk. They're absolutely junk. They're failed.
Well, my concern is, don't use charades to tell people that their septics are failing. Allen County has done that, because they changed the rules. If you don't upgrade your system to those rules, and you may or may not get a permit to do that, you're automatically in a failing category.
Well, I just want to go on record as saying, we're not Allen County.
Understand that.
Okay? So I don't know that I even want to be compared to Allen County, quite frankly. So, and with the right guidance, that won't happen. Because this is just a situation that came about, well, I distinctly remember the day we were sitting in here and George says, look at this MS4 stuff, we're in big trouble here. And I said, well, what are we going to do? And we discussed it. So it came from us. Initially it came from us, but we had to have a vehicle to get to where we are today, and that's how.
The base idea of this is good, but it can be used for good, or it can be used not so good.
I see. Okay. Well, I had never looked at it like that. I think that it's pretty essential that you be able to flush your toilet and the poop goes to an appropriate place and not out on the ground somewhere. So,
and Henry, one thing that brought this up also is we got an area around Cohasset that those people can't even sell their houses because the septics won't pass. And so, we're trying to help those people out and other people in the community that they're stuck. They can't sell their house. They can't get another loan on their house. They can't do anything. So, I'm sure that it can be done for other reasons, but we're trying to make sure that everyone within the communities has an opportunity to have a septic system or a non-failing system.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's an excellent idea, because I too have seen some of these septics that little clay tile has gone to pot over the years, and now it's up on top of the ground.
Yeah.
And it just happens to be next to a stream. You got to stop.
Yeah. So
I think you bring up some valid points, and I think the key point here is that the members of the board will make any decisions about whether or not a project moves forward, and those board members are appointed by county commissioners, county council, Columbia City, Cherubusco, and South Whitley. And those people who are appointed, it's ideal that, in theory, this is the way it should work, is that the people who are appointed should be representing the people and not other concerns.
Well,
or other
that's
agendas.
exactly my point. It has to be for the people, not for who's on the board.
So, I agree, and that board hasn't been fully appointed, but it's a valid point for you all to record that whoever's on this board should be appointed with the idea that they are looking out for the best interests of the community and the environment and everything else, and not business.
You know, if you
I
put
said
a
it-
developer on the board, that one is automatically suspect. If you put contractors on the board, are they going to benefit from this? Are these cities going to benefit? Will they be forced to sign a waiver giving up their remonstrance ability?
Run that last one by me. What now?
Anything that happens virtually in Allen County, recipients or whatever you want to call them of the sewer system must sign a waiver giving up their right to remonstrate when the city decides to invade their property.
Okay, you're talking annexation area there. Okay.
Well, but it goes together. If people don't sign it, then they don't get the sewer and their property, there's a lien placed on their property's condemned.
Okay.
You know, that's the kind of arm twisting I don't want to see happen in Whitley.
I don't blame you, and quite frankly, I've never really thought about that. I just honestly believe we're doing this for all the right reasons. I really do. I believe it's all the right reasons. And the right reason could be wrong to some people. I'm going to tell you right up front, but I see this particular area in the south side of Cherubusco, if we get that fixed, then economic development's going to bust right out along that corridor. And,
there's no doubt
and the county will get more taxes. So maybe there's a conflict there. I don't know, but I believe that economic development will follow. The other example is, to me, is Blue Lake. You look at Blue Lake and where it was 30 years ago and where it's at today. It's got some gorgeous homes on it today. So.
Well, any lake area.
Right. So I guess that would be my conflict of interest probably in that, as I can see more growth and more taxes.
Well, growth is not bad.
No, I don't think it is. So I appreciate you coming and I promise I will call you back the next time, but I've been a nurse for the last couple of weeks to my wife, so.
How's your wife doing, by the way?
Oh my gosh, wonderful. I couldn't be happier.
Can she kick you out?
This is week 3, I think, and she's walking with a cane, so really happy.
Don't get too close, she'll hit you with it.
Yeah.
George, if I may interject, I have met, personally, I have requested other individuals in places that have already had meetings, that they request a meeting with me to understand a little bit more of the science, and so I'm always available for any of the communities. If they want to have a meeting, their association, or whoever it might be, for the health department to come out and answer the questions and let them know.
Wow, look at that trouble that just walked through the door. Holy moly. Yeah, I want to talk to you, Max. Hi, kids.
Bonnie, did you have something to say?
Oh, I was going to say, I guess I can come up here. I was just going to come gather mail and see if you guys have appointed your last 2 county commissioner appointees. But I was going to say that Scott is always invited to these community meetings that we've held. We've had 4 so far.